Hello RC fans, this is Racing 393, part 3 for the Flying Point Vintage Nitro rebuild. It's the Probe VXI. So far so good regarding this series of videos. I say a rebuild video. Basically, all I've done is just stripped it apart, cleaned it, put it back together, changed a few screws, bolts here and there, made sure things are straight, greased, rebuilt properly, and put back together. It's gone together quite well. I quite like buying old vintage Nitros, especially Nitros, not so much electric RC cars. But as far as buying second-hand vintage RC Nitros, I get a lot of satisfaction of getting them all back to how they should be running. I don't always achieve this. If you've watched the Dave Marauder series of videos, I'm still stuck on getting it running. I've had some tips from various people on maybe what that could be. I haven't got round to implementing those yet, so yeah, so that's the only one I've really got stuck with. But most of all my other Nitros I've got here, excuse me, have all been basket cases at some stage, and I've rebuilt them. You know, the MP, you can't see these, but MP5, the Schumacher Fusion, a Schumacher X3XTR single speed. I'm trying to think what that is. A Menace. I haven't actually done them to the Menace yet. Team Magic. That's done. A Fortec. I've done a few Fortecs actually. So they've all started as a spares or repair off of eBay or Facebook Marketplace, but they've ended up where most of them have been running, or in fact most of my channels about running those old Nitros. This, I'm hoping, shouldn't be any exception to that rule. So we're on part 3 now. I think in the previous video, part 2, I alluded to we're going to get it started in part 3. That's not the case. The only reason is all the stuff to start a Nitro needs charging, and at the point of this video I haven't actually got round to it, but in the next video we'll definitely get it fired up and hopefully running free for now, as in there's no servos in it. I won't be doing that just yet. I just want to get the engine so it ticks over. But in this video we put it all back together to a rolling chassis. You can see by the thumbnail that we get there. It was a bit of a mission. There were some things which were worse than I anticipated. So I have actually bought a couple of small items to bring this buggy back up again to its former self. But I hope you get as much satisfaction watching me rebuild old classic Nitros. You just stumble across them on the internet and you do a little bit of research and you realise that they're just... I've never heard of this. I mean, up until... I have now. You look into it, there's quite a lot about it. But they're not particularly well known. And if you're just into your RC Nitro, then this could be a great platform to help you get into the old Nitro scene. It probably... bit controversial. Is it a dying scene? Probably is a dying scene because you can't get hold of the stuff, the bits. So you have to be fairly careful with what you buy. My rule of thumb is buy 3 to make 1. I've got 2 of these. I haven't actually used any bits off the other one, and the other one's slightly more complete, even though it's in a slightly worse state. So I've done quite well to get as far as I have in this series of videos without actually at this point buying anything for it, although I have ordered some shock absorbers, spoiler alert. So yeah, anyway, sit back and I hope you enjoy the video, and if you've got any suggestions regarding videos like this, or suggestions about the Flying Point probe VXI, then I'd love to hear from anyone that's got one or refurbished one. So without further ado, I'm going to pass you over to me yet again.
Right, let's this could be good or bad. Let's get the engine stripped. It looks all in one piece. Doesn't look to be in too bad a condition. Needs a clean, but I've got some cleaning solution here. Actually, it's like really strong oven cleaner, like dangerously strong. But we're going to chuck things in there to soak and do the best I can. Right. I don't know if it's a time lapse this. My time lapse doesn't work very well, if I'm honest. Yeah, if I time lapse, it just looks crap, but we'll see. So that's all the bolts loose. So let's take them out. So 6 out. I didn't want that to happen. There's no... oh, there's a pin there. The whole thing's come out. It's probably not a bad thing. It's whether or not I can get it off of here. Looks to be really good condition. So I'll put that one side. That looks really clean. Could do with some light. Well, I have got light, but more light. I wouldn't know what plug that is, but I don't know if I got any charge in my... we'll see, shall we? There's nothing in that one. It did smoke. It's a very light glow. So the plug works, but they're flat. Let's take the back plate off. At least they all come off. Same size as the head bolts as well, only shorter. Nice and easy. The flat's always at the top. Piston looks to be in good shape. It's got a little R on the rod that faces outwards, so that's all good. Crank looks really smooth. Not looks smooth, it is smooth. And that is a gasket as well on the backing plate. So this is an RF, no, what am I talking about? OS Max RF. What does the RF stand for? Really? Ucked. clutch bell now. Keep those in order. This should come off now. Now this is the so a little bit rusty, but other than that, it looks alright. I'm not going to take the clutch off. It looks pretty good. But we'll clean these up. Bearings have seen better days, but we'll clean them. That one's really tight in there. There we go. Probably one of the easiest engines I've ever stripped. Obviously the carb's going to be separate. Use that to build it back again. Right, so there's nothing else really to show you. So I'll put it all back together and I'll show you. I'll be back when it's all done. Put back together, nice and cleaned inside and out. Sounds alright. Good compression. It is nice and tidy. I've just got to put the crank bell on, clutch bell. Then I'll probably put it back on the stands, motor mounts, and then put it back in the chassis. Then I'll do the carburetor. Don't know if you want to see the carburetor, I doubt it, but I'll be back when it's all back in, all back together. Ball on, pipe, mount, exhaust manifold, you did. Motor meshed. Fuel tank. Fuel tank's on, but only by one screw at the moment. It is pretty close to the exhaust. I don't think the exhaust header is for this engine. Don't think. I think you can see that, but so I've no idea of what one was supposed to fit. Because the other OS, just that shot, is a side exhaust. This is a rear. What else? Yeah. I mean, air filter for the 1/8. Grab one of those, but don't need it yet. Like I said, it's all meshed, it's all free rolling. I think what I'll do is I've got quite a lot to do at the moment, work and other things. The next video will be the startup or attempt, because you know these need charging. Well, that's about it really, isn't it? That needs charging, the starter box needs charging. I have ordered some shocks. I sort of went ahead of myself there a little bit, because the backs are okay, but the fronts leak too much, don't they? Sky, as my dog's looking at me thinking, idiot. Yeah, I mean it sits okay. It's a bit bouncy at the front. The back works well, but I think it'll be much better with shocks that work. It moves nice and smooth. What do you think? It doesn't come out too bad, does it? I suppose the other thing I could show you is the brakes work really well. So if I just push this, I can't do it totally. Yeah, no, I can't push it now. Brakes off. So they'll work. That's a good thing. But it's come out alright. Flying point probe VXI. Well, the basis of it ain't, well, come here, Sky, come here, sit down, sit, that's it, stay there, there. I've got some liquid metal to do this. I can sort of undo and glue that back together best I can. I don't know how original it all is. Also, this was supposed to be a competition buggy back in the day. I don't know. Possibly. It's probably not a lot different to the Kyosho, like the MP 5. Sky, sit down. Sit down. There you are. What's the matter? Dog's itching to get out. But that'll do. That's going to do for part. What is this? Part 3. Part 4. 4 will be startup. Might be a short video, that one. I've just got to get things charged. I've got other things I need to do. Speedrun car, I've got to get that sorted out because it's running out of time. I've got this down here to build. I've got most of the bits now for this, so that'll be alright. Yeah. Vintage 1/8 buggy racing at its premium, I think. Last look. I can tip it up, but nothing should fall off it. He says. That's the back. There's the front. If anyone's interested in what it entails. But there you go. Keep an eye out for part 4. Sky, come here. Come here. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe. Spread the word. And we'll all be happy, I think. Watch out for part 4. See you later.